Good evening. Some serious unfinished business to attend to tonight. 8 days ago, the Pompey chimes were ringing out to celebrate Portsmouth in the FA Cup final for the first time since 1939.
Warren Neal. Oh, that's a good-looking ball. It's Anderton. A real chance for Pompey. Darren Anderton. It's there.
And then, with just 3 minutes of extra time to go, Liverpool pulled it out of the fire. For Graham Souness, relief and delight.
It's something as a player I've never won, something as a manager in Scotland never won the equivalent up there. And with 5 minutes to go, or 4 minutes to go, I was thinking, not this year again. But we're still in it, we're still there, and we've got a chance. Those were his immediate post-match comments. Then, amazingly, on the way home from the match, Souness revealed to his team the staggering news that the very next day he would be admitted to hospital for essential heart surgery. That, thankfully, has gone well. But would Liverpool be able to give their ailing manager a much-needed boost tonight? The replay, Portsmouth against Liverpool at Villa Park. The winners, of course, to play Sunderland. And if this match ends all square for the first time ever, one of the finalists would be decided on penalties. The match commentary comes from Trevor Brooking and John Motson.
The Villa Park capacity is just over 40,000. That's 2,000 less than Highbury. But Portsmouth have still been able to bring 17,000 excited fans who are now dreaming of an all-second division cup final. While the 20,000 plus Liverpool supporters know that defeat in their 2 league games since Highbury means that they must win the FA Cup to assure European football next season. Well, caretaker manager Ronnie Moran, having spoken to Mr. Souness in hospital, has announced 2 changes from the first game. One was expected. At number 7, Dean Saunders, back from suspension, replaces the injured Steve McManaman. But the other one at number 8 was more of a surprise. Jan Molby is back, but Ray Houghton is left out of the 13. Portsmouth's Jim Smith had to decide how to replace Mark Chamberlain, who was injured at Highbury, and he'll play number 3, John Beresford, on the left side of midfield, and Ray Daniel, who hadn't started a first-team game this season until Saturday, owing to a knee injury, will play left-back tonight, wearing the number 10 shirt. Well, the referee again is Martin Bodnam, who's already through to Wembley. He'll take charge of the FA Vase final. But here with his thoughts on this FA Cup semi-final replay, Trevor Brooking.
Well, everyone will have a little bit of a look at the pitch. The centre, about the centre circle, looks a bit bare, and then 2 centre bits of the 18-yard boxes, which might trouble players as they just go to make contact if they get a nasty bobble. And Liverpool with Dean Saunders back in the side, but I think they're going to play 5 men in midfield themselves to combat the Portsmouth style, and Dean Saunders might play in Steve McManaman's role that he, of course, is missing this evening, wide on the right. Will be interesting to see if he can have the same effect as he did in the first semi-final.
A delayed kick-off owing to difficulties on the motorways, but this semi-final replay starts with Liverpool playing from right to left, Portsmouth in all blue. And that was Michael Thomas, and here's Jan Molby. Liverpool played here, or most of them did anyway, in the league only on Saturday. They've had a good feel of the pitch. Here's Barnes. But they're back to full strength tonight, apart from McManaman. And here's Anderton, who scored in the first game for Portsmouth, and this is Burns, number 6, charging forward. Over on the far side, more advanced tonight, John Beresford, number 3, playing in midfield. Burns again. The tangle there with Rob Jones. And as Trevor Brooking correctly forecast, Dean Saunders wide on the right, and only Rush as an orthodox striker for Liverpool. Steve Nicol. Molby. Saunders a switch to the left. Rush is in the centre here. It came out to Cool. And there, McLaughlin in the hole. Beresford. Beresford actually began his career as an outside left, as a Manchester City junior, so he's not unfamiliar to that role. Here's Clark up against Burrows. Jan Molby was supporting. Useful defensive work from him, and then it's Jones who slipped. Oof. It's a bit tight back there, and here comes John Barnes with Steve Nicol breaking out of defence on the left wing. Barnes using him as a decoy, goes the other way, still Barnes, Whelan's in there. So too was Saunders, he didn't run to him. Molby. Barnes figuring prominently in this opening period. Looks for Saunders here.
The other interesting part of that attack was, you mentioned, Steve Nicol overlapping on the outside, and the other tactical switch is that now Burrows is playing alongside Wright in the centre of defence, and Steve Nicol is going to do the marking job on Darren Anderton, who, naturally enough, Liverpool look on as a key danger man.
It's forward by Rob Jones. Warren Neal is the number 7 covering here, but Kit Simons was first to the ball. Nicol and Clark colliding. Good play by Molby. This is Burrows. Into Barnes. Saunders makes a run from right to left, and he wasn't picked up.
Good run by Dean Saunders, and it's an interesting problem for Portsmouth because he starts off wide on the right, and then if he's going to make those runs across the back line, one of the two centre-backs has to pick him up. A good ball from Barnes, and he's come from wide on the right and gone across Simons and Orford without being picked up.
Saunders on the ball, shaken off it a bit by McLaughlin. Here's Anderton. Cool. Molby. Molby looking to spray the ball around. Simons forward for Portsmouth. McLaughlin. Neal. But Nicol blocks the route to Anderton and finds Rush. Forward by Orford. Anderton comes in from this side. Oh, and Grobbelaar misjudged it. And a let-off for Liverpool. Trevor.
Well, I think Steve Nicol saw Bruce Grobbelaar come in, just paused, but just held up in a bit in the wind because, in fact, it's against the Portsmouth side. And as you see, Dan Anderton definitely gets there before, and it only had to be on target. It was in.
Neal. Cool. Neal again. Clark. Molby very involved in this opening quarter of an hour. Seen plenty of the ball in that central midfield position for Liverpool. Probably a little bit deeper than the others. Here's Wright. Rush. Saunders. And Rush finds Thomas. Rush goes again through the middle. Michael Thomas to Dean Saunders. Good save by Knight. Saunders goes again. And the Portsmouth goalkeeper excels himself there in a 1-against-1. Alan Knight.
It was a terrific save, lovely reverse ball by Michael Thomas. Dean Saunders, normally so good, just trying to lift it over Knight, blocked it, and then rescued by Simons.
Well, that was a nice piece of play by Daniel, who's acclimatised very well, it would seem. This is Beresford. Daniel goes again. There are 3 waiting in the centre here for Pompey. Mark Wright cuts it out, first time and second, only as far as Burns. Now Rush. Support from Molby. And on the far side from Saunders. Ronnie Whelan now joins the attack in the inside right position. But Saunders got tangled up. And the opening 20 minutes has not produced a goal. Forward by Martin Kuhl.
Well, that is an obvious pass that they're trying to find, Anderton, but Steve Nicol, experienced defender, and read that one straight away.
Here's Saunders again. Once more Saunders. Challenge was by Simons, but Martin Boddenham was in a superb position and there was no need for him to react.
That was a correct decision. Been very impressed with Simons. You can see Dean Saunders, as he goes away, sort of leaning in, 6 to 1, half a dozen the other, going over. But I think just the physical strength of Simons was enough, and I wouldn't say that was anywhere near a penalty at all.
And I would say you were dead right. This is Rush. Now it's Whelan to Barnes. Nicol comes as the extra man. Rush making a long run in the middle. Thomas was there.
It was a great run by Nicol. I do think that's his best position, left back. He helps Barnes by those overlapping runs, and once he gets in his stride, it was a superb cross. And Michael Thomas, unmarked, should have got it on target.
Yes, Andy Roxburgh will be hoping that Steve Nicol keeps that form and fitness for the European Championships, won't he? For Scotland, he's such a versatile player, and he set Thomas up there. Burns, Beresford, looks for McLaughlin. Slight miscue by Andy Orford. It's put John Barnes in possession and then Nicol and Molby. It's Barnes again, Michael Thomas. Back with Rush. Whelan. Barnes. Deflection. It comes back to Molby. Saunders makes a darting run in from the right. Oh, smart piece of work by Alan Knight. He's really on his game in this first half hour, the Portsmouth keeper.
It was a smart piece of work by Knight after a super ball from Molby, but look at the bounce. Could have gone anyway, I think, for the keeper, but that one popped right up, thank you very much, into his hands. It could have shot, and that would have been a kinder one for Saunders.
McLaughlin, Cool. Oh, he's just offside, Anderton, but Martin Boddenham plays a good advantage, which accrues for Liverpool. It's Nicol. Barnes. Nicol again. Rushes there, Whelan, it came off and turned back very coolly indeed by Chris Burns.
Just bounced the wrong way there for Liverpool. Good cross, and it just, Chris Burns saw it late, as you see it whipped in by Nicol. Chris Burns doesn't see it, misses the header, it rebounds then back, and then it coolly, before Rush can pounce, back to his keeper.
Rush working hard to find Barnes there. Well, that was a challenge by Warren Neal on John Barnes, and Portsmouth's hearts are going to tremble when they give away free kicks anywhere near the edge of the penalty area.
They're running out to defender like this is just a clear-cut body check, and probably this side you would favour Molby, I would have thought.
Square to Nicol, way off target with the shot.
Not easy to hit those coming across. When you pass the ball 10 or 15 yards, I would have thought you had Molby, who laid it across, might have had a go or whipped one in himself from his right foot, but it's not easy hitting across, and Steve Nicol slicing it badly.
Mark Wright. And the first half draws to a close with the underdogs from the second division still holding firm Liverpool with more of the play, but Portsmouth still with bags of spirit, and a half-time score at Villa Park as Anderton goes off is Liverpool 0, Portsmouth 0, Saunders with the best chance for Liverpool. Well, the last time, it's Martin Cool straight from the kickoff. I was about to say, before he had that shot, that the last time Liverpool played here in a semi-final 2 years ago against Crystal Palace, there was a goal before most people had taken their seats for the second half. And Grobbelaar will be hoping it's not repeated, because he was actually on the other end of it. Jan Molby to Dean Saunders, away from Daniel. Now Rush in the middle. Thomas is joining him now. The others coming from midfield. Still Saunders. Forces the corner. And back to Rob Jones. There's Wright. Away by Cool. Portsmouth breathe again. Wright. Another good header by Simons, but this is Molby. Saunders. And Barnes in a good position here. Molby.
It was a super strike, wasn't it, by Jan Molby, just as well. Barlow Knightley went straight at him, because either side it was so well struck. You just wonder whether he could have got a hand. As you see, straight at the keeper. Fortunately for him, I think.
Clark almost intercepted that from Nicol. Wright looks for the longer ball towards Rush. Here's Molby. Not a penalty.
Well, the Liverpool bench not looking too pleased, but it wasn't a penalty. A good dummy by Rush. Jan Molby knocks it too far forward. He's never going to get there first, and you'll see him sort of throw himself almost at it, I think. But he got a touch just before, but the defender was trying to get out of his way. I wouldn't say that was a penalty. I think he sort of dived, which made the referee think that there wasn't the initial contact.
Ronnie Whelan is going to go off. The number 5 who equalised for Liverpool in the dying minutes of the match at Highbury is going off the pitch to be replaced by Barry Venison.
I mean, you've got Waters on the bench, but it's more of a defensive player, so Liverpool themselves making sure they're not going to concede Portsmouth any more space, and Venison just lining up on the right side of midfield as the role that Whelan played.
Venison, who, of course, was a Sunderland player, they're already through to the cup final, and he's come on to try and help Liverpool get there. He's in midfield wearing number 14. Clark's gone down very heavily now for Portsmouth. And this is Orford to Cool. Clark's lying in an offside position. They can't do very much about that. He's in great pain. Referee had to stop the game in those circumstances, and Mark Wright's very concerned about Colin Clark.
You see the challenge, and didn't seem too bad as they went up for it. It might be just as he was landing, and whether it's his elbow, shoulder, or what, I don't know, but definitely something's come out. It looks like the wrist, doesn't it, rather than towards the shoulder. But there must be some sort of crack or break there.
Well, they've got a ready-made replacement in terms of an out-and-out striker, in as much as Guy Whittingham has been Portsmouth's top goal scorer for the last 2 seasons, and he's on wearing number 14, and I would imagine he'll just replace Clark up front. Molby tucks it round for Saunders. Not many close to him at the moment for Liverpool, but they're beginning to arrive now. It's still Saunders. McLaughlin works the ball out to Beresford. Chip back inside for Burns. Oh, a lovely return. This will put Beresford on his way. They've got to get support, though. Whittingham's in the middle, being joined by Anderton. And Beresford couldn't shake off Mark Wright. Burns. Cole. Forward by Simons. 2 against 1 for Portsmouth. It's Whittingham. Whittingham to Neal. Pulled back. McLaughlin's there. Beresford's there. Still Beresford. Still in play, is it? Oh, McLaughlin! Portsmouth. Robillard was in there, and somehow, here's Daniel. Burns. Daniel again, offside this time, and McLaughlin there for a moment threatened to win it, but I think it hit the bar, Trevor.
Well, it did. Good pressure, that, wasn't it? I mean, Beresford does exceptionally well. Manages just to turn, keep it on, pulls it back, and McLaughlin, I think, from that distance should get it into the net. I mean, he's hit the crossbar on the turn. It's not easy, but he's just got underneath it. Grobler wouldn't have had a chance.
Burrows looks for Saunders. John Barnes looks to be slowing down a bit now. But he's still in possession here. Probably just taking a breather. Saunders. Cool. Oh, mistake by Simons, nearly the first one he's made in the 2 games. And with 2 minutes left, it nearly let in a combination of Barnes and Rush.
Any mistake now, of course, just would be the end of the game. And it would have been a great shame if somebody like Simons had been the one to make that mistake. But it looks as if, after hitting that crossbar, it's got to be extra time, hasn't it?
Well, I've seen them score in the 90th minute. But we'll just wait and see, I think. Here's Cool. They've done really well again, Portsmouth, haven't they? I mean, to sustain and survive the possession football that Liverpool had in the first half, and then to come so strong in the closing minutes, and within inches, if you like, of scoring the goal that may well have taken them to Wembley. When McLaughlin here, number 4, hit the crossbar. This is Daniel. Molby. And now the space for Liverpool, and Portsmouth have got to be very careful here. It's Michael Thomas. Rush has gone to the left, pursued by Simons. That is not going to be a free kick. Referee decides that Rush dived.
One of those unlucky ones where the defender's just got the wrong side. What happens? He clips his heel. It's purely accidental, but it is a trip, and I think a bit unlucky not to get a free kick there, Liverpool.
Here's McLaughlin. I suppose the point to be made there is it's supposed to be intentional for the referee to award it. And there goes Barnes. Simons comes across. We're coming up to the 90-minute mark now at Villa Park, and into any time that Martin Boddenham may add on for stoppages before he blows for what will now apparently be extra time. But here's Saunders. Thomas closing in. Oh, and the goalkeeper, where did he hold it? On the line. Linesman's got his flag up. He says that Alan Knight touched the ball outside the 18-yard area, and dramatic stuff again. A Liverpool free kick, central position, right at the end of the game. Trevor Brooking.
He was outside, just held up in the wind, and then once he's committed, he's got to get his hand to the ball to stop Thomas getting past him. What a position to concede a free kick.
Now, will it be Barnes again, or will it be Molby? Portsmouth supporters dreading some sort of action replay here from 8 days ago. And we are in stoppage time. Venison's also in the thick of it there. He's got the wall back. And Molby replaces the ball with Barnes just to his right. Barnes. It's come out to Venison. This is edge of the seat stuff, I can tell you. Nicol. And now Molby again, the Pompey fans whistling for extra time. Mark Wright. Jones. Molby lifts it up for Barnes. Still Barnes. Challenge was by Whittingham. And the referee had a word with Barnes. He didn't see it as a foul. He's holding his nerve here, Martin Boddenham, with one or two very loud Liverpool appeals. This is another one, Trevor.
Well, it was a nudge. John Barnes has rolled over. I don't think the referee could have seen it. It was the blind side of him, so he wouldn't have seen the nudge as we did on the replay. And the linesman is the other side of the field, so I think that's possibly why Portsmouth got away with that.
We've been playing now 2 minutes of time added on for stoppages at the end of the 90, and Liverpool, I was going to say, have come close, but how close Portsmouth came too with that one that hit the bar. This is Molby now, spreading it out towards Barnes. Takes on Warren Neal. We're playing the time, I suppose, he's adding on for the Clark injury. Here's Nicol.
I mean, at times it's been very much a stalemate, but I mean, there's been mistakes, questionable penalties, and near misses that you always are on the edge of your seat because it is a semi-final. And you know, at this stage, one mistake will cost you a trip to Wembley.
Anderton for Portsmouth. Here comes Burns. Oh, a cool piece of play by Wright. Was it too cool? Beresford. Burns. And it's come out as far as Barnes. And everybody's nerves seem to be jangling both on the pitch and in the crowd because this 90 minutes seems to be going on forever. It's Venison to Saunders. Jones. Rush going up for this. Here comes Nicol, heading it back in. Offside flag up. Well, that second half with stoppage time lasted 50 minutes. And lots of excitement in the last 5 or so. Portsmouth hit the crossbar. Liverpool appealed for 2 penalties and got neither. They're still arguing with the referee, and we have half an hour's extra time, and then maybe it will be penalties. Barnes. Nicol. Saunders.
Not easy again to hit, and it's a curler, no real power behind it.
McLaughlin, and they want it played through, but they were trying to stay onside as well. There goes Neil. That was a good ball by McLaughlin. Over Whittingham. Burns is coming in. Venison's header. Now it's Mulvey for Liverpool. Saunders is taking on Simons. Mulvey. Well, there are some very tired players out there now. Here's Barnes. Orford covering Rush, but it was only as far as Thomas. This is Saunders. Thomas goes again. And Beresford, who still looks nippy, plays the ball out to Guy Whittingham. He's found Chris Burns. Beresford in support again. They've got Anderton on this side of the pitch, being marked as usual by Steve Nicol. Out of play.
Well, there is just the last few minutes of full time, and now a little bit more space creeping into the game for the forwards and midfield players.
Saunders. One shot rolled right down now, Dean Saunders. Michael Thomas. And Saunders keeps it going. Venison. Mulvey. Clark it was who found... Burns it was who found Whittingham, who of course has been on at centre forward for Clark. That was the Portsmouth substitution. Whelan went off for Liverpool and Venison came on, and that's a free kick, a foul by Steve Nicol on Darren Anderton. They do look a bit weary, Trevor, don't they, both teams?
Well, it is sapping, the tension drains you a bit as well, and now going into extra time, but I do hate the thought of those penalties.
Yes, it's a strange thing, isn't it? But we'll talk about them if they happen. Here's Cool. Burns is over on the far side. Good play by him. Whittingham!
But they're getting numbers forward, Portsmouth. I mean, they look quite lively, and Burns crossing, Whittingham having to come back out and can't get the power because he's running away from the goal.
This is Thomas for Liverpool. It came off McLaughlin inadvertently. Rush found Saunders as a result of that. It's still Saunders, but Knight gathering that quite comfortably. One thing that has to be said is that over these 2 matches, Portsmouth have never been overawed by Liverpool. Nicol. Mulvey. Thomas again. Saunders stretching forward. It comes out to Jones. Saunders. And Portsmouth break. Beresford is probably about the fittest of the players on the pitch at the moment. He's full of running still. He's found Anderton. Whittingham spins away to the right. And Grobbelaar's caught an excursion here. And he's caught out of goal as Whittingham crosses. And there's Beresford, a great header by Rob Jones. It had to be really for Liverpool. Grobbelaar was all over the place with only about 5 minutes, Trevor, left in extra time, but here's Michael Thomas at the other end to Saunders. And it's come off McLaughlin, and rushes in there, so is Daniel, and it's hooked away for the moment by Burns, only as far as Mulby. McLaughlin's down in his own penalty area. Does the referee stop the game, or he's scrambling to try and not to play them onside? He's walking away now, Mulby. Nicol. Looks for Thomas here, heads it back to Rush. Oh, missed his kick, and then it really fell for Thomas anyway. Well, you actually feel there could be a quite bizarre incident in this last few minutes, because everybody seems so tired. The ball had a mind of its own in the penalty area there, but still it stays in play with Nicol to Barnes. Saunders. Nicol again. There's the cross. Oof. Well, two things to talk about there, Trevor. First, Grobbelaar.
Well, it was a comedy of errors, wasn't it? Once he's come out, he's got to stay out, and fortunately, Rob Jones managed to head it away, and then that cross there from Nicol just clears the crossbar. Alan Knight was always there, and I think, not surprisingly, two substitutions, perhaps even a bit late. Rob Jones suffering from cramp, and Alan McLaughlin, again, the Portsmouth suffering for cramp, so Aspinall coming on, and Mark Waters for Liverpool.
Of course, they would now qualify to take penalties, wouldn't they, the two coming on? Only the players actually on the pitch at the end of the extra time can take them. Barry Venison. Martin Cool. Rushes behind Orford. Beresford. Michael Thomas. Rush goes forward, so does Saunders here. Orford's challenge. Venison. Back to Mark Wright. Square to Burrows. Into Mulby. Everybody now packed into the Portsmouth half as Venison picks it up. Plays it into Thomas. Orford. Again, tight to his man. Mulby to take the throw. This is Warren Aspinall, who's just come on for Portsmouth, and he's found Guy Whittingham. And Aspinall continues his run. It's still Anderton on the ball. He's made good ground, but again Portsmouth put in a cross which is too long for the players in the middle. That's been the pattern in this last period, and there's only a minute now of extra time left. It's Steve Nicol. Saunders is out on the left wing this time. He's got Rush in the middle with Michael Thomas. Still Saunders. Plays it back to Nicol. And it falls for Beresford.
Beresford now in the left-back position, having swapped with Daniel, who's struggling with an injury. But the minutes and seconds now ticking away.
Well, Trevor, I make that the 30 minutes of extra time is actually up. We're now in stoppage time, and then we're into penalties if nobody scores. This is cool, but hold on. Oh, no, it's a handball. It's a free kick. Oh, no, it's not even that. It's the end of the extra time period, and we are into a penalty shootout to decide who goes to Wembley. Whether you like the system or whether you don't, and not many football people really would pick it as a way to settle a match like this, there's going to be high drama at Villa Park of the sort that at this stage of this famous competition has never been seen before. The first penalty to be taken by the Portsmouth captain, Martin Cool. A nice handshake from Grobbelaar, who, of course, masterminded the penalty shootout in Rome when Liverpool won the European Cup in '84. ball shoots wide. What a bad start for Portsmouth. The Liverpool supporters behind that goal waving their arms to put him off in the first place, and now waving them in triumph as he drives his shot here wide of Grobbelaar's left-hand post. And John Barnes, who will take the first penalty for Liverpool, now has an opportunity as the disappointed call walks back. If Barnes beats Alan Knight, then Liverpool will take the lead in the penalty shootout. Rolls it in. It's 1-0 to Liverpool after one penalty for each side.
Almost seemed too tired to reach the ball there, John Barnes. Kept his composure, picked his spot.
Kit Simons scores for Portsmouth. So it's 1-1, but Liverpool have a kick in hand.
I mean, in experience, Liverpool had to be favourites on the penalties and have a cushion on the first one, but let's see what happens.
So it's going to be Ian Rush. Ooh, it just crept in the corner.
Well, a rueful smile from Ian Rush, and that was a teaser, wasn't it? A little bobbler in the corner, just went the wrong way, but it was firm enough and far enough away.
So that makes it 2-1 to Liverpool after two penalties each. Jim Smith's team coming from behind here in the penalty shootout. And the next man to be faced by Grobbelaar is Warren Neal. Oh, what a bad penalty. His nerve failed him. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Portsmouth have now missed 2 out of their 3. Grobbelaar didn't have to do anything, Trevor, did he?
Well, it looks ominous, doesn't it? I mean, it's such a tense situation. You want to get it on target, and that straight at Bruce Grobbelaar. I mean, sometimes the goalkeeper goes one way and it goes in the middle, but on that occasion he stood his ground, and, well, I can't see any way back now for Portsmouth.
Well, Dean Saunders here has a chance to make it 3-1 in the shootout to Liverpool. And the ball seems to be rolling off the spot in the wind. Right in the corner. Well, now Portsmouth will have to score their last 2 to extend the competition.
Super penalty, but what a trio to take your first 3 penalties. Barnes, Rush and Saunders. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more, could you? They know they're almost there.
Well, John Beresford has to score. Otherwise, Liverpool are in the final. Oh, that's it. Liverpool are in the FA Cup final, courtesy of a penalty shootout, which was a nightmare for Portsmouth, who missed 3 out of their 4 kicks, and there was no need to take the competition any further. Technically, it was 3-1 to Liverpool in the shootout. Barnes, Rush and Saunders all scored. Simon scored for Portsmouth, but Cool missed. Neal had his shot saved. and Beresford as well failed to score, and so Liverpool in their centenary year have reached the FA Cup final for the 10th time. But you have to feel sorry in all this jubilation for second division Portsmouth. They took Liverpool all the way, not once but twice. They made them look ordinary at times, and it was a cruel way, while Liverpool celebrate, for Portsmouth from the second division to have their moment of glory denied.
So Liverpool by the skin of their teeth, and we understand that Graham Souness watched it all from his hospital bed. I hope it wasn't too stressful for him. It was almost too stressful for us. Now let's hear from caretaker manager Ronnie Moran.
I think we're happy.
Yeah. Ronnie, 40 years this year that you've been at Liverpool. There can't have been many more tense moments.
It's 43 actually, but I don't want to cheat. But yeah, there's been a lot of tense moments throughout them 43 years, and this again tonight is something good for the football club and the supporters of Liverpool. When we've had a bad season by our standards, with injuries and that, but we never made excuses about these, and give credit to the lads who all played tonight. They battled away, and some of them are not fully fit, but we took a gamble with some of them, and some of them haven't played 2 or 3 games the last 3 or 4 months.
Tense when it gets to penalty shootouts, though.
Well, I mean, the FA brought this rule in, and we can't change it. It's up to the FA about this, but we've got to abide by the rules. It's like referees make decisions, so you've got to abide by them.
Have you spoken to Graham Souness this afternoon?
No, the last time I spoke to Graham was last night, but I should imagine he might be in training tomorrow when he has this result through.
It'll really help him recover a little bit quicker, I think.
Oh, why? Well, he said he'll be back if we can get through to the final to lead the team out. I hope he is.
So you won't have to put the suit on and maybe lead the team out of Wembley?
Well, if I have to, I will do, but I hope Graham's back to do that and lead the lads out at Wembley. As long as we're at Wembley.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Ronnie.
Thanks very much.
Yes.
Well, Jimmy and Alan here went through the dramas with us. Was justice done in the end, in your opinion, Jim?
I think it was. I think on this occasion, penalty kicks were on the side of the right side, because Liverpool had most of the game. I mean, Portsmouth stuck at it as well as they could in the circumstances. There were 2 penalty decisions, one the referee may not have seen, which we thought was an obvious penalty, and Portsmouth survived that. And so, really, on the weight of play as well, I think Liverpool had 20 shots to 4 by Portsmouth. Portsmouth were not in this game in the way they were in the other game, but there were reasons why Liverpool found them hard to kill off, and partly their organisation, their determination, and Jim Smith as their manager.
Why do you think, Alan, that Liverpool found it all so difficult?
Well, as Jimmy said, they got men behind the ball and they defended well. Offord and Simons were magnificent in the 2 games. But Liverpool had a lot of the play, but they lacked penetration for me. It's always difficult to break down a side that are going to sit back. But in the old days, an extra special Liverpool side would have beaten Portsmouth easily, in my opinion. But these days, Liverpool really aren't extra special. And I find that they're reluctant to throw the ball in the box nowadays, and I think they might just go and buy a target man, because they need somebody in there that's going to header the ball.
Any names?
There's not that many going about.
No. It's tremendous drama, Jimmy, and the penalties are very exciting for those who are impartial observers. But what about people in the game?
Well, they will hate them. It's strange that the Portsmouth players that missed were experienced players, not the young ones. You know, played a long time for different clubs. Yeah, there really is no answer to it. The game has to be decided. You know, at this stage of the season, if Portsmouth are going to have a chance of getting in the playoffs, how many more cup ties do they need? You know, before they play those remaining matches. So you know, it's not. It's a way of deciding. I know a better way, but we haven't got time to get in that.
No,
tonight.
we've heard it before.
No.
Well, I suspect we'll hear it again. I thought there was a case tonight almost for Wembley holding the semi-finals, because that pitch, whatever people said about it, I didn't think was up to scratch. What did you think?
It was a bad pitch for a semi-final to be played on, and you might have a point there. It's a terrible way to go, but Portsmouth now have got to pick themselves up and try and get a place in the playoffs.
Yeah, they were even slipping and sliding while they were taking the penalties.
It wasn't good, was it?
It wasn't very good. Right, let's hear then from the man whose side will face Liverpool in that final on May the 9th. He's a caretaker manager too, Sunderland's Malcolm Crosby.
Well, that was exciting. What do you make of that, watching Liverpool go through to meet you at Wembley?
Well, I thought Portsmouth defended very well, you know, and they didn't really let Liverpool have many chances in the game. But when it came to the penalty situation, I think maybe experience in them situations took over.
Be honest, were you willing Portsmouth to win that one?
Well, not really. I mean, I'm just delighted to be going to Wembley, and whoever you take on, it doesn't really matter, because when you get to Wembley, you know, it's anybody's cup. So, you know, I'm a bit sad for Jim Smith, but I'm a big admirer of Liverpool, so I'll be quite pleased to be going out with them.
There we are. They've been great matches to watch. I'm sure you'll agree, but the final, May the 9th, is Liverpool against Sunderland. We'll be there. You'll be there with us. Cheerio from us.